And I want to welcome you on behalf of Liam William Butler's extended family to this time when we will together grieve Liam's loss and celebrate Liam's life. I also want to offer thanks on their behalf to the first responders and to this entire community for the love and support of the last 2 weeks. And finally, the decals on your seats are not tattoos. They are vinyl, and you can stick them anywhere and they will last forever. So a few words about how we will spend the next hour or so. The children are going to come in singing. I will say an opening prayer. Liam's candle there in the middle will be lit by his friends, Anatoly and Yona. And then the grade 4-5 class will sing for us. Next comes a short poem, and then the time for Liam's family to speak. And after the family, there will be an opportunity for his friends, his children friends, and then a time for members of the community. We'll finish that with a song. I will wrap it up. Our children will sing for us again. I'll offer a final blessing, and the children will go out to a lullaby. When we're done with this part of the afternoon, there'll be a brief break, and things become slightly more free-form. There'll be food, you can get up, you can walk around. The lovely video by Eye Candy Films will begin playing. It'll play several times, but I would suggest that at least once during that time you sit down and just watch. I'd invite you to sign the love board, write Post-it notes, sign the card, and I do understand that at some point in the afternoon there will be, certain people might engage in a Nerf gun war, but I don't know that it's any of us who are sitting in here right now. And finally, a few words about language. It's really impossible in a community as diverse as this to find a common language or understanding about the ultimate, the spirit, the love that pulses at the center of the universe. Some of us find our meaning in earth and sky, some in synagogue, mosque, sangha, or church, some in hard work, some in the endless cycle of life, or in music, or the well-turned word. So I will use broad language, but I invite you to translate what I'm saying to whatever works best for you, to address your thoughts and your prayers to whatever it is or whoever it is that holds and grounds your heart and soul. Thank you.
river, she is flowing, flowing and growing. The river, she is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea. The river, she is flowing, flowing and growing. The river, she is flowing down to the sea. The river, she is flowing, flowing and growing. The river, she is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea. The river, she is flowing, flowing and growing. The river, she is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea. The river, she is flowing, flowing and growing. The river, she is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, return, return. Aye, 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 her drama. Aye, 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 the earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. Aye, aye, aye.
I wonder if Anatoly and Yona could come forward to light the candle, please. So God of 10,000 names, of no name, of silence, you whom we hear in the whisper of wind, the rush of creeks, the heartbeat of a child, you whom we feel in the kiss of snow, the heat of fire, the arms of love, you whom we glimpse in mountain heights, in lake depths, in the face of the beloved. You whom we taste in our daily bread and in our tears. You, nameless one. You are with us as we come today to acknowledge our love for Liam and our loss. And we pray this day in the name of the love that binds all things together. Amen. So this is a poem by Nicholas Gordon entitled, I Miss Your Laughter. I miss your laughter, fun and gentleness. I miss the things I used to do for you. I miss the time, now filled with emptiness, when each day was a stage for something new. I miss your love, though mine for you remains. A passion with no outlet to the sea, a teardrop in a desert that contains what's left of my parental ecstasy. I miss your presence, like a silent chord that anchored even solitude in grace. I miss for my love's labor the reward of seeing some small pleasure in your face. All these I miss, and yet they are all here within my heart, far more than I can bear. At this time, we're going to invite the family to come forward and say a few words, and we'll be starting with Ken.
Folks, I'm Mike Shy, okay? So can you all hear me? Yeah. For sure now? If you can, signal to me. Throw something, okay? So on behalf of our families, thank you all so much for coming. All children are precious. My grandchildren, my children, and my great-grandchildren are special. This time is for Liam. Right in this school, last fall, there was a ukulele concert that we had attended. Mike Lesnick, the retired principal, signaled to me, "Hey, Ken, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you about Liam." This is high school principal. Is Mike Lesnick here? Mike, would you please stand and share for us what you said to me? If you can't, I can do it. The other thing is that for those of you that don't know Mike here, Mike has also said that afterwards, if you need a chat with him, he'd be more than happy. Mike, are you okay with it? If you're not, I can do it.
I said that Liam was really a special, lovely child. I also added he wasn't really crazy about the ukulele. But he mustered through and did his absolute best with the help of Katrina, his teacher, and really that he was a wonderful, sweet lad.
Okay, so we had some words there. Kind, caring, special, sweet. Pretty powerful stuff, eh? Right. Our resident daredevil, motorcyclist, record holder, hot rodder, lives just below Silverton, or just below Liam's house in Silverton. Ron, he came to me and said, "Hey, that grandson of yours, he comes down and he sees me." We hunkered down in that wonderful back shed that he had, and we talk about things, all kinds of things. I call him Uncle Ron, because sometimes uncles and aunts, children can say much more than to their parents and grandparents. He was a sounding board for Liam. He was doing a rat rod Liam and he debated the benefits of whether it should be the original or whether it should be shiny. Liam agreed with Ron when he chose to go original, but that's not to say that Liam didn't like shiny too. Kiara and I both know that Liam had a sweet spot in his heart for a red, shiny Z28 Camaro. As only my dear friend Rod can do. He says, that there grandson of yours, he's one special dude. Ron's not here, but he told me that it was okay to tell you this story. A rough and tough and hard to buff Navy veteran lives in Silverton. Had a garage sale last spring. I went early in the morning, got some stuff. Liam and Ryan went in the afternoon. The story I heard is that, you see the size of this shell over here? Well, that's what Liam was lugging after the garage sale. Carrying this thing, and he'd made a friend.
Talking now, $5.
We don't know now. Oh, you did? Oh, I was going to tell you. Okay, so. Okay, so anyway, Liam brings this home. And, Granddad, look at this. This is big time. This is big boy stuff. Look how this thing works. Fires from here. Does this. Wow, big boy stuff. You're right. About a week later, this old salty drives down my driveway. After some pleasantries, he says, hey Ken, I got to tell you something. I got a card in the mail. It was from your grandson. Oh, he said, it's amazing. All it said was, Mr. Provan, Silverton. And it got there. And that's what we did too. We both said, wow, how blessed we are to be able to have small town post offices. So, when he was leaving, he said, here, can you do me a favor? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, he was actually looking for Liam, but Liam was gone somewhere that day. So he says, would you mind passing this on to Liam? It was a package. I said, sure, I'd be happy to do that. So, the package held that t-shirt there. There's a note on it from Ron. When Ron left, he said to me, that grandson of yours, he's a special kid. And I agreed with him. This is my daughter Amber. I'm sorry I didn't introduce her at the start. There's just one quick thing that I have to say. Look, there's been so many people that have helped us out. It's just incredible. There's one special lad here that I must acknowledge, right? Evan here. He took care of my grandson and my daughter and our Emma. Thank you, buddy. Amber's just got something that she wants to say here, and then there's some other stuff I'd like to tell you, some stories.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. I know this is a really challenging time for everyone. I just want to read something my dad wrote. Like a beautiful young prince of the Valhallas, Liam's body left home on a bed of hemlock with a cedar crown, surrounded by many of his earthly treasures, which he had all set. He was protected on his journey by his mother and sister, both like lionesses, guarding their family. Our little peacemaker looked out for the underdog. Even in his passing, this special child has brought so many of us together. I am very proud of him. Thank you.
How true. The little prince. Yeah, come on up. You come on up and you sit right here. They were rocked to sleep when they were babies. by Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and America's Greatest Hits. A little bit of Puff the Magic Dragon, and there'll be green alligators thrown in just for good luck. There were stories passed down, stories of the sausage factory, stories of just wonderful, incredible things, and new ones that were in the making. One of Liam's favorite stories is about a hunt that we were on. It's too long to tell you now, but I would be more than happy at some time to be able to share that with you. Give me a second here. I just lost my place. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. He put toys in my shoes just to let me know that he was thinking of me. Hey, I have something here. This is true, okay? Did you all know that nanas and grandmas can tell by the sound of their child's footstep how hungry they are? There's so much to tell. The hardest thing to do when you're doing something like this is what to leave out, okay? So, this is really big print in case you're wondering it's going to be here for a week, so it's just orange. Okay, thank you. In the ballad of Pancho and Lefty, which was one of Liam's favorite songs, Willie talks about how Pancho's skin was like iron. Well, these kids, their skin, their feet, were like iron. Like iron. Shoes were optional. Never knew half the time where they were. Guarded by their trusty Akapak, Miss Daisy, they were free to roam. Oh, I forgot. There was the most gentle, toothless, ancient horse you could ever imagine, named William. William looked after him. There was chickens with so many names you couldn't keep up with them, from Einstein, and cats with names like Mr. Handsome, dogs like Daisy, Gemma, Bud, Macy, and so many others. And so many others. There were no locks. Oh, it was not unusual for me to wake up from my nap with a chicken tucked underneath my arm. It's true, ask her. Our place was called Sleepy Hollow, and it was until, guess what? Grandkids come. We have so many grandkids. When they come, our lives are just enriched and enlightened. There was lots of room for their friends too, and lots of things that they could do. The latest thing was these Nerf war things. I don't know if you folks have seen these, but some of these things are like automatic Nerf. They'll shoot 4, 5, 6 at a time, right? And there was wars up there. I was always of the opinion of no headshots, okay? But, well, sometimes. They were two children of the slow can, exploring places like Cooper's, Bigelow, Bannock Point, Evans, Nana's Beach, Centennial, Summit Lake, Fish Lake. Wonderful places that these children were able to explore. From parades to festivals to play dates, life went on. Remembering that first incredible, clear, frosty day when the sun comes out and there's billions of diamonds. He loved it. Give me a sec, okay? We broke them in early to the colors of the rainbow with prisms on all of our windows. To be able to see Liam laying on our carpet with hundreds of prisms dancing on the ceiling above. It's no wonder that they love bubbles and fireworks. True. Choo-choo. They loved winter. I wasn't too enthused, but they just couldn't wait. They just could not wait for that snow to hit. We would plow the snow up into big piles where they could tunnel through it or conquer it, the highest one on it being the king of the mountain. Lots of things. We had plans. We had big plans. Kiara and Liam came to me earlier and said that, Granddad, we've outgrown the sliding down the driveway. And, like last year, you were talking to us about the possibility of putting something underneath the power line. I said, yeah, I'm for it, right? So, we went out. We went out and staked this whole thing out. We're slashing down some trees, getting rid of some trees, bringing them back up, getting it ready. Unfortunately, the backhoe got stuck because it was raining so much and it was the fall and then it snowed. It's a work in process. I just have to tell you that Liam's design on this, right, and Kiara's were that they needed slope banks and a couple of jumps. I was wondering, do bobsled runs have jumps? They love doing that. And their friends. It was just always so much fun for them to slide. There was lots of times that they made their own fun up there. We had plans, like I said. There was plans for a cabin for each of them, their own cabin. They had designed their own plan. This is how it was going to be. Kara's was going to be over here, and it was going to be that. Liam's was going to be here, and Liam had really had plans right down. There was no half loft in this one. He really thought it was just a big waste of time to have that half loft. Needed more room upstairs for the bedroom. There were many homes for them to hang their hats in, all with loved families in there. Liam had come into his own. Emma tells me that he had done something wrong. He'd been grounded. And she was telling me, and I grounded him. A short time later, Liam came to his mum. Said, I understand, Mum, why you did that. The punishment was warranted. And I'm not going to do that again. And I'm going to do better. And I'm going to do the dishes, and I'm going to clean the house. He was accepting responsibility now for his own lunches, right? For his own breakfast. He was growing up. He was no longer designated to the other end of the tape. He'd gotten it. He'd figured out U.S. standard. He got it. I got it, Granddad. The shed that we worked on, it still stands. And he got it. He laid them out. He did it. You know what? A lot of that goes to his four musketeer friends here. Because they were a team. They shared in so much. They grew together to be able to help each other. Liam wasn't all that fond about performing on stage, right? I saw these four kids with Liam. He wasn't scared about that no more. He had it. He had it figured out. My fingers are a little bit sticky here. So, on behalf of Liam's families, I really want to thank this community for the amazing generosity and love and caring that it shares. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, let me tell you, from hills through to Red Mountain and all points in between and many of the other strands, we're so fortunate to have people like you to be able to help us, to be able to help our children through it. This school is just amazing. The teachers are a prize, a pleasure to be with. So, what is this common thread that comes around us and is woven into our fabric as the people that live in the Slow Can? What is it that makes us who we are? What is it that my young grandson had grasped? He knew that if you cared, that kindness came, and then love. And I have to tell you, I dearly, dearly miss him. And I thank you all so much for listening to this old guy. Thank you.
Because even though we haven't really touched base, we've kind of written the same things. So speaking about the thread of families and community. And I just wanted to say, speaking of Ron down the way, me and Liam, we're going to work on his motorcycle this spring together. So people in this community, you know, they step up for all of our children. Making the decision to have a child is monumentous. It is to decide forever to have your heart go walking outside of your body. When I had Kira, I cried in fear of being responsible for another human. And when Liam came along, I learned the ropes and knew this was going to be the greatest and most difficult task of my life. I feared being a single mom and always looked at ways to be better. Being a great mom was one of my goals and passions. Every day was a whirlwind of new struggles and successes. Being a great parent means putting your children's needs ahead of your own, but working together for the greater good of the whole. These last months, I had Kira and Liam to myself, and the changes I saw made me so proud of them. They said if only you had a crystal ball, but I did. I worked hard to keep my children safe. I even tried to move away. I told people close to me that a tragedy would strike. But I could not foretell when or how. It's a mother's instinct. I want the truth to come out. People are afraid of truth because it forces us to look inward on ourselves, our beliefs, and our values. I'm asking all of you as a mother and for Liam, my son, to speak the truth of yourselves and of others. We all need help, and this community needs to hold children in their hearts when they see things that are unacceptable. I would not ask that of another that I would not ask of myself. Forgiving is not forgetting. Liam loved the color purple. After we had went to the school when the cops had made breakfast, he had said he wanted to be a police officer because he wanted to help people. Liam loved food. He loved meatballs and pizza and anything with meat, and I could usually bribe him to do almost all chores with bacon. Liam loved his sister so much and would have followed her to the moon. Kira could convince him of anything. Liam loved to watch me get ready for work. He would touch all my things and ask questions and always tell me how beautiful I looked. He was like my personal positive reinforcer that I was doing a good job. I let my baby sleep with me because I knew I only had them for a short while. I always felt like the luckiest mom because they would fight to turn off the light. Whoever turned off the light first would get first snuggles. Liam, we had the best discussions in bed. We would talk about the world, the possibilities. You would hold my index finger when you would sleep, just like when you were a baby. Liam started to collect cars and Nerf guns. He was a better saver than Kira, which shocked me. Liam loved being in the mountains. Liam loved snow, and Liam loved skiing, hiking, camping, swimming, and his friends. Liam saw the best in everyone. He would tell me his teachers were tough on him, but he respected them for it. Liam's favorite part of school was lunch and playing with his friends. I always think of you as a trail of stuff behind you. Someone told me that your feet never quite touched the ground, and we called you Twinkle Toes when you were little.
Yeah.
Last year we did a mother and son hike together to Gwillem, and I'll never forget your sense of wonder when we got up there. This winter we were planning hikes, bud, and now we'll take your ashes up to the mountains where you were at peace. As the mom, I tried to discipline my children with love in my heart. I would have to take breaks and step away if there was anger. I gave my kids power when I got angry. I said if they hugged me and told me they loved me, it would stop my anger, and they loved seeing me relax and turn mushy. We would forgive quickly and hug it out. I told my kids I was proud of them and also had them question situations. Was there anything they could do better, differently? What was their takeaway? I knew I was raising kids that would have to take care of themselves one day. I opened my home to our community and to its children, and I taught my kids by my actions. Liam's spirit animals, Kira told me, were the eagle and the bear, and I picture Liam as a bear cub with a honeycomb in his paws, playful. Unconditional love is true love. It's about caring for another person without the thought of what we may gain for ourselves. Unconditional love is known as affection without limitations or love without conditions. This is the tarot card I picked on Liam, and he loved all of us unconditionally. They say you can't make something out of nothing, but you can create something that matters more than anything else, something that brings purpose in life. We are always the Three Musketeers. I found peace in our whirlwind of chaos. To be a good parent, I had to let my children fall, console themselves, and be there when they needed to discuss it. You can tell a child not to touch a stove, but in doing so, they learn a lesson. Mistakes are our lessons through life. Some must be repeated many times for people. I was doing everything in my power to keep you safe, weighing each risk, making decisions for our family. Knowing I could not give you everything you asked for, but teaching you the value of working for things. Having quality time together. Hunting, hiking, fishing, being silly, deep thinking, being bored, silence, alone time, being honest, trying to come from the heart, giving respect and being respected, dance clean parties. So much love in my eyes when I looked at you, and in my heart when I held you, in my voice when I spoke to you, and in my body and spirit when I carried you, and I nurtured you and you nurtured me. I grounded Liam for the first time before Christmas. He snuck Alfie home. Kira and I had to quickly get ready for our performance. I found you playing across from the hall and I was livid. I told you that you were grounded and we discussed the terms later. You had to stay for our practice and our performance, and when we were done, you came running to me and you gave me the biggest hug. And you said you were yelling, "Yay, Emma," from the upstairs, and if I could hear you. The next day I came home to the dishes being done, my bathroom clean, and firewood stacked. You stepped up, Liam, and even put aside my grounding to be there for me in my moment. I was the luckiest mom. I want to thank this community for their love, support, and kindness, and funds for Kira and I would never have this time with Kira to help her and grieve my baby. I love you all. Thank you, Evan, and your family. You have been my rock, and I could not ask for a better, kind, selfless man to be on Kira's side and in her life. You're a great man, and we are lucky to have you in our lives. To my mamas and dad, who fed and loved Liam like he was your cub. To Liam's friends, I love you all so much, and my door is always open to you. To our grandparents who loved our children. And to all the search and rescue, fire department, police, hospital workers, and community for bringing both my babies home to me. To my department and my ladies at work, you are my extended family, and I love you all. And most importantly, my Kira-boo. You are my hero. I am shocked and so proud of your strength and courage. Our whole family has been harder on you, giving you much responsibility like watch over and protecting your little brother. Liam looked up to you and adored you. We all do. I love you more than anything in the world and will honor your path as you are stepping into womanhood way too quickly. These past couple of nights, since everything's happened, I black out every night. And these last nights, I've actually felt Liam, and he's come into my dream, and he just told me to keep Kiara safe. And Liam, thank you for just looking out for your sister and just always watching over her. So thank you so much, and I'm just hoping to sing a song with my daughter if we can get it through it.
Keep on going, looking straight out on the road. Can't worry about what's behind you or what's coming for you further up the road. I try not to hold on to what is gone. I try to do right what is wrong. I try to keep on keeping on. Yeah, just keep on keeping on. I hear a voice calling down for me. These shackles I made in attempt to be free. Be it for reason, be it for love, I won't take the easy road. Ooh, oh, I've woken up in a hotel room. My worries as big as the moon, having no idea who or what or where I am. Something good always comes bad. A song's never just sad. There's hope, there's a silver lining. Show me my silver lining. Show me my silver lining. I hear a voice calling out for me. These shackles I made in attempts to be free. Be it for reason, be it for love, I won't take the easy
just want to take a minute to thank the community for everything they've done for myself and my family, and thank all my family and friends for all your support through this terribly difficult time. Liam was a truly, truly amazing boy. I remember, I think it was grade 4, 3, or something like that, when he won the award for the nicest kid in the class. That's what I remember him. Thank you.
Oliver, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I have a couple little things I wrote up here. Never the easiest to get in front of all these people and try to do the best job possible. I have this little poem that I've seen and I've changed a little bit. And I thought it would be appropriate, but I'll just read it, and then I have something little like that as well. So it's called The Dash. I read of a man who stood to speak at a funeral of a relative. He referred to those days on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the dates of his birth, November 23rd, 2007, and spoke of the following dates with tears, but said what mattered most of all was the dash in between those years. For that dash represents all the time that he spent alive on this earth, and how only those who love him know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we owe, the cash, the cars, the clothes. What matters is how we live and love, and how we spend our dash. So if we just slow down enough and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we never loved before. Try not to go too fast, and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a while. As an uncle to Liam, I have always felt pride and happiness just thinking about him. The times we spent hiking or just doing anything, the smallest little things, just frolicking around, we enjoyed ourselves. He was a peacemaker, never aggressive, quiet, a thinker. Kind of reminds me of myself a little bit. Liam was pretty special, and I think with everyone gathered here today, it's self-evident. We will always remember him and pay tribute to his gentle and kind-hearted nature. Liam, we love you and we miss you. And may the wind always catch your sail and the stars guide you for your journey.
Now we'll have a song by Sadie Butler. It's recorded because she's not here.
Every night, wish I take you away from here. Shine close now. I could take you away from here. Wish I could hold you close, my dear. Wish I could take you away from here. Wish I could hold you close, my dear.
Eloise?
Sometimes I feel it's the hardest speech I've ever had to write, and I couldn't even finish it. So bear with me, you know. In the web of life, a strand has been broken. A tragedy has occurred that we will never forget. It has impacted all our lives. When I think of my grandson Liam, he was a Kootenai baby, half wild, half tame, running through the field and forest on another adventure. He was mischievous, but he had the heart of a peacekeeper in his own way. And I think of all our struggles as grandparents and how much we loved our kids, and no, Nana wouldn't have a good day unless she hugged them both and kissed them twice and said she loved you till her arms ached, waving goodbye. And I feel that I remember Emma dropping the two kids off as we're trying to block the cell tower, maybe get arrested, and she screams at me, "Mom, don't you dare get arrested with the kids, they're too young." I'll try my best. Granny with the grandkids. So, unfortunately, I was the renegade grandmother. Not that Ken's any tamer. And that's right. And we became young again, and it helped us with the act of the imagination of our grandchildren to have the wildest of times in the backyard even. So, in this holiday season, we worry about presents, turkey, and candy canes. And Liam's death has reminded us of stopping in the middle of all of this and thinking about our spirit and just the other side of life in a way, you know. And it's been very hard for all of us to absorb, and for our young children. And that was the hardest part, is to realize how precious. And I remember the last time I stood up here during the Christmas celebration, I reminded our children how precious they are to all of us, how we love every one of them in their most unique ways. They're very special, and we hold them close to our hearts. So, to lose a young one is the greatest of sorrow. He wasn't even old enough to have big sins. So I want to give my most gracious thanks to the Last Wishes Society and Gloria Lisco for helping us and enabling us to bring his body home, to cover him and ourselves, to honor him, to love him, and to be able to say our last goodbyes. And I was also very grateful for the 2 sacred fires at school. And I know that our young ones are wondering, well, what's this about spirit? And so I thought to myself, the best comparison I can think of is the word love. You can't see it, you can't possess it, you can't count it, you can't buy it. But it abides in the empty space between all of us. And the greatest gift that Liam has given to us is that love we feel right now. How we communicate with one another, how we care, share our joys and our sorrows all together. We can become, like he would have hoped, to be a millionaire, a boss, a director of this or that. But at the end of the day, what's going to count in our lives is what we are as people and how we treat all life around us. In my culture, to be a child, a parent, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a friend, is a role, probably the most important role that we will have in our lives, and it comes with responsibility. And as we demand integrity, truth from our children, we ourselves have to set that example. I live in the greatest, most beautiful valley with the warmest, most heartfelt people on earth. Liam's gift to us is that love we feel right now, today, that binds us together. The outpouring of love from all of you has been incredible. And tonight, we will hold one another a little closer and we'll hug our little ones a little tighter to our breasts. Thank you all, and may the Great Spirit bless one of our youngest members of the community. And thank you for being present to honor him and give your goodbyes as well. Thank you, Alice. Katrina is children.
I think it's been said so many times, they're all precious. And that whole row and that row over there are precious. And Liam was one of those students that didn't want to take up a whole lot of space. He didn't want me to really ask him to do a ton of work. And he wanted to just be there and snack or have something out of his pocket. But he works with me. And I listened to the people who said the thread, the amazing thread that wove through that little boy and his sister. I had Liam last year and this year. And it is amazing. I wouldn't know. Are you going to Nan's or Grand's? Well, which one's which? Is Nan Eloise or is that Donna? Okay, now where are you going? I would get text from Emma. Are we on track? Are we on track? And I'd get a text from Ryan. Hey, how's my kids doing? They were loved. And that little boy had all of everybody in all of these rows just taking care of him. And as we journeyed with these 2 rows, how do we say goodbye? How do we say, hey, we appreciated you, we loved you, and how do we do this? And we've worked really hard, and I want to thank all the community members who've come into our class to help us. We've written stories that we'll share with you later of what was Liam. And all those stories are outside, snow, eating, sleepovers, cars, Lego. He was the gentle soul that everybody would say was the nicest guy. And we're really going to miss him.
I have a story that I don't need a paper for because it was one of the best times I had with Liam. More than one. So one time Liam came over after a choir and we had a sleepover. But we stayed up until 10 sledding and just having fun outside. And my mom said, okay, we have to go back in now. So we did, and we just went back in and slept. And then in the morning at 7:30, it was so weird. Liam could make a time when he would wake up, and he would wake up at that time. And he's like, Yona, get up. I'm like, oh, okay. And then we went sledding until 10. And then mom's like, okay, time to have pancakes. And Liam could eat so many pancakes. I'm like, I was stuffed and I had like 2 pancakes. And Liam was like, I'll have the rest of yours. And he already had like 3 pancakes. He could almost eat as much as my brother. And my brother was 5 years older. And also we had another time we were sleeping over and it started to dump rain and Liam was like, oh, I saw we were sleeping on the trampoline. I'm like, look outside, Liam. And he was like, oh, okay. And so we slept on my little fire escape. And we brought my pillows, my blankets, everything we could to be comfy. And instead of bringing any of those things, food or water, Liam brought all of my toys. And I'm like, Liam, we gotta get food and water or we'll be thirsty up there and hungry. And he's like, oh, but I wanna play. And I'm like, we still have to get those and then we can play. So eventually we got up and got the food and water and other things. And then in the morning we got up, my mom was already up and she's like, what do you guys want? And he was like, crepes. And then we had another time where we slept on the trampoline and we brought headlamps and stuff. And that time, instead of bringing toys, he brought a lot of food. And I'm like, what? Because the last time he brought toys, I'm like, okay. And we bring one headlamp and we were playing this game of like, you shine the person in the eyes and they try to attack you and you couldn't really see them because they were darting from the side of the trampoline and then you just got hit with a pillow. And then in the morning, I'm like, oh, and I wake up, I'm like, oh, it's super, super cold. And I'm like, Liam, it's super cold. And they're like, no, it's not. It's like super warm. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you have all the blankets. And he's like, he looks around, he's like, oh, I guess I do. And we had one more sleepover where we were sleeping a couple days after my birthday, and we were sleeping outside, and it wasn't raining. It was beautiful stars, and we were watching the stars shoot. And then I fell asleep, and he's like, Jonah, wake up, wake up. And then I'm like, what? And he's like, there's a raccoon. I'm like, there's no raccoons around here. And it just darts in front of us. I'm like, I'm sorry, Lamb, you did see a raccoon. And so I fell asleep again, and he told me in the morning that he saw amazing shooting stars. And then I woke up and looked up once, and it was just like, it was beautiful.
Do any more of Liam's friends want to come up now?
I never knew I was going to do this till now, so I haven't planned anything. Liam was a really good friend, and I kind of felt like I could tell him anything. We had sleepovers all the time, and me and him and Alfie had a secret meeting spot. And we don't quit every lunch, and we had a code word to go up there. And we always try and pool our money together to buy New York sugar. And Pringles and Doritos. Yeah, thanks for listening.
Is there anyone else? If not, I'd like to open the mic to the community for a few people to share. Oh, good. Nikolai.
Liam wasn't just a friend, he was someone you could talk to. I remember we went out to one of the cabins that Ken made, and we had a secret hideout spot. And we're having a Nerf war. And Anatoly said, let's switch. And I was like, okay. And then we went, and then we switched teams. But Yona and Anatoly actually had a plan to betray me and Liam. So we switched back teams. And Liam's like, and then we climbed on the bank, and Liam's like, now you can't get us because if you shoot the Nerf guns down, the Nerf goes down the bank, we won't be able to get them. And he was making a joke about throwing watermelon. Well, he called him watermelon because he's a really poofy big cat. And it was just so much fun. Thank you.
When me and Riley, Kiara and Liam, when we were around 5 or 4, me and Kiara decided that we had to be sisters. So to do this, me and her were going to make Riley and Liam get married. We dressed my sister up in a
big fancy princess dress and took one of my dad's ties and wrapped it several times around Liam's neck, probably choking him, but he just went with it. And when I was walking down the aisle, which was into only Taylor's room, but we didn't let the parents know, so Kiara had to shut the door, but of course she had to shut it on my dress. So then I'm this close to falling, but yet I catch myself. I don't know how. Liam was always wanting to make everybody happy. He did not want to get married, but he wanted to make everybody around him happy. That was always his goal. He always wanted to make everybody feel loved and happy and special. And I'm really going to miss it.
Is there anyone else from the children? All right, easy.
Liam was one of those people that was like always there. Like whenever I was performing in something, like when I sang in the Christmas concert, and that was like the last time I saw him before he died, and he was like, I saw him cheering or something up in the stands, and that was like the last time I saw him for like in eye contact, and I never like ever saw him again. And I remember the last thing when I was going to grab my mom from upstairs, when she was yelling at them to keep quiet. And I remember I heard him say, "Where's he?" And I didn't see him again after that. And when I heard that he died, it was like, I don't get why Liam died. I never really knew Liam. He wasn't one of my friends, you could say, but I do have a very vivid memory of him. It was December 21st solstice, 2017, and me and Galena and Ayla had all just arrived in Sandon, and we'd skipped the day of school, and we were up there, and it was our last day of school, and we were so excited. And I had the idea to go on top of the woodshed roof that's up there, and we invited, and then Yona and Emily and Jay arrived, and we all climbed up using like this tiny tree, and it was kind of impossible, but we managed it. And then Liam showed up with Anatoly, and Anatoly and Nikolai both started sledding and having fun, and Liam immediately spotted us on the roof and decided to try and get up, but after a few attempts at climbing the tree, he couldn't make it up. And we knew that if like one more person came on the roof, it would probably collapse because it was already shaking and it was not very safe. And he couldn't get up. We were attempting to tell him that it would probably fall, but he would not stop trying to get up. And he started throwing snowballs at us, and we had this giant snowball war it went on for probably about an hour. And then the fireworks started,
and we all jumped down off the roof, and we sat with him, and it was fun.
So if there are no more children that want to come up, I'd like to open the mic to the community, please.
A few of you have heard this story before, but Juniper wanted me to tell it again because she thinks it's so funny. If you don't know me, I'm one of Liam's teachers, and I've had the pleasure of teaching him for a couple of years. And I'm glad that Liam respected what we were trying to do with it. Liam was always looking out for the fun things to do in class, and wasn't always necessarily focused on what his teachers wanted him to do. And right before the Christmas break, we were rereading the poem that Katrina had made with all trying to use gender-neutral language. We were trying to get the kids interested in this, and which was hard to understand. It was just an exercise. And anyway, Liam wasn't too interested. I think he and Alfie were trading chips, so I said, Liam, why don't you come and sit with me? And so we sat and looked at it together. And I seemed to be paying attention, and we would look at it together, and he'd agree with me when we were talking. Maybe we can call Anton. How should we, instead of him, we should say Anton. Yeah, that's a good idea. And this is going along quite well. And I noticed after a few minutes that Liam has, unbeknownst to me, taken off his boots and his socks and had opened up a comic book with his feet. Reading a comic book with his feet and turning the pages. And so Liam's got a special place here, and he's always making sure that we're looking out for making sure that we're having fun in what we're doing. Thanks.
Those of you that have known me for a long time know I always feel it's important at times like this for people to sing together. And I have a song that I think everybody can sing together. You just join in. I think if the kids, if they've seen The Lion King, they may recognize this song from The Lion King. And I'm going to accompany myself only with this spotted toad, which I think Liam would really appreciate.
Figure out. Hold it.
We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We all come from the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. Please join in. Fire. We come from the air, living in the air. Go back to the air, turn the world around. We all come from the air. Go back to the air, turn the world around. Earth. We come from the earth, living in the earth. Go back to the earth, turn the world around. We all come from the earth. Go back to the earth, turn the world around. Go back to the earth, turn the world around. One more time. Go back to the earth, turn the world around. Thank you for joining me.
Craig, would you like to set up? Yes, and if there's someone else who wants to share, that would be great.
Hello to all of you. I had the honor of being the principal at this school for 5 years, and then I retired, and I came back last year to fill in for 1 year. And so I don't really have anything that I rehearsed to say, but I wanted to say, in line with what others have said, that all the children in the school are special. But when you walk down a hallway and you see one particular boy and his eyes light up and he has that sort of shy look to him, you tend to notice. And I just wanted to say to the family how sorry we are for your loss. I feel a part of the community even though I don't live here. And it's just so very important for you to know that the school community is grieving so intensely with you.
But I did have the ice cream candy store for a couple of years, which pretty much puts me in the know with every kid in town. So I did learn very early on that Liam could not eat ice cream, which sucks for a store that has 32 flavors. We upped Baskin Robbins. 31 was that one. So we had a few dairy-free flavors. So we would stack them on top of each other to make a nicer cone because you only have so much to choose from if you can't eat ice cream. So we called it the Liam cone, and we made a big deal of it when he ordered it so that it was like, oh, here you go. So, you know, he was always very shy and said thank you very, very quietly, but he was just a sweet little boy. And he'll be missed. That's my favorite memory of him, so
Hello everyone. My name is Craig, and I had the good fortune to spend a bit of time with Liam and Ryan and his family. So I'm going to play a song for you guys, and just wanted to say it's beautiful to see this community coming together. Yeah, we'll see if I can get through this. Making mama so proud, but your voice was too loud. We used to watch you working, picking insects off plants. No time to think of consequence. Control yourself, take only what you need from me. Family of trees wanted to be on it. Control yourself, take only what you need from me. Family of trees wanted to be on it. The water's warm, but it's sending me shivers. The baby's born, it's crying out for attention. The memory fades like looking in a full mirror. Decisions are made and I'm bad. I thought that this would hurt a lot, I guess not. Control yourself, take only what you need from me. Family of trees wanted to be on it. Control yourself, take only what you need from me. Family of trees wanted to be on it. Thank you guys.
So there's no way at all to make sense of the death of a child. It doesn't add up. We can't grasp it with our logical mind, and it won't be tidied away. We may know and trust that life has continuity, that Liam is still here in spirit with us. And many of us sense that today. But there is still a destabilizing wrongness. When a child dies, it catches at us and it tears us open. Liam, your death has torn us open. Because we love you, we are coming to pieces. In the face of such a deep and disordering loss, it is instinctive to make our world a little smaller, to hold on tight, to get angry, to withdraw in fear. We want to draw those torn pieces together into a tiny space that's safe, that doesn't actually have room for breath. There is also the choice to let the pain and the joy pour into and out of us. Again, it's not about logic or finding some kind of adequate spiritual understanding of death. It's about an ongoing practice of releasing the strictures around our heart, because the strictures, we will be tight and we will be disordered by this. But when we release out of the flow of sorrow and sweetness, can be born those life-sustaining qualities of compassion, generosity, patience, mercy, steadfastness, and forgiveness. We will find ourselves bound together, not separately by fear, but collectively by love. To paraphrase the mystic John of the Cross, love protects us from nothing, but sustains us in all things. If we could bring Liam back to life, there isn't one of us who would gladly forgo the acquisition of the virtues. But we don't have that choice. He is gone, and we are forever diminished by that loss. So the question before us is, what will we do with our grief? This is a prayer for each of us, for Liam's families, for all of us here, for our larger community, that we will have the courage to let grief open rather than close us. I pray that we have the courage to let ourselves be sustained and bound by love.
Always tomorrow.
Remember this, my friends, that neither death nor life, neither the future nor the present, nor any powers, nor height nor depth, nor anything else in all of creation can separate us from love.
Silent snow has covered the landscape in a shimmering wonder of white. A spell has been cast, and all is suspended in a shimmering wonder of white. In a shimmering wonder of white. My breath is refreshed by the cool of the evening. There's snow in my glove. I lay in the snow and stare at the sky and feel the snow fall to the ground. And feel the snow falling down. The tree stands so tall in the contoured horizon. The bark is all dusted with snow. A branch waves its coat off to show us some green while the others stay dormant and white. While the others stay dormant and white. I glance to the left at a flutter of wings, dancing together in perfect flight between the tall branches that reach toward the sky, while the snow feathers down to the ground. While the snow feathers down to the ground. The tree stands so tall in the contoured horizon. The bark is all dusted with snow. A branch waves its coat off to show us some green while the others stay dormant and white. While the others stay dormant in white. Silent stillness, all is suspended in a shimmering wonder of white. Slow motion movement over the landscape. Time is suspended in might. Time is suspended in white. Time is suspended in white.
We move now to the more informal part of our program, so please, yes, Amber.
I just had two things. One of the first ones is I wanted to thank everybody. Like, this is a huge production. production, and I know people have worked day and night to pull this off, from creating an incredible film to creating the stage, to spending hours writing, thinking about the right thing to say, practicing songs, creating notes for Liam, all of this artwork. There was a lot of work that went into this, and I just thank you guys so much.